racist rhetoric or people cheering on a man who's founding. You know, like, and I would encourage everyone who's part of the black community here at Speaker's Corner to just rise above it. Rise above it. Be the better man. If you see a weak man who is wounded and he's flailing about, he's kicking other people, you still try to help him. The guy is broken. He needs a hug. And he does. He does. He's traumatized from something in his past, and he's working out. And all those people that are cheering him on and applauding him are applauding a man who's wounded to his own destruction. And that's not charity. Charity is when you see someone drown, you try and rescue them. You know, like Tan's racism is disgusting, and it should be opposed for what it is. But to understand the man Tan, you've got to see him as someone who's broken in the head. You know, and he does not deserve anyone's attention. Ignore the man. Don't give him oxygen. Don't feed that fire of hatred that's burning inside him. Because that fire of hatred is just destroying him. It's not going to destroy any of you. You can use the N-word as many times as you like. At the end of the day, it's a word, guys. Rise above it. Don't bite. Don't give him the oxygen that he's looking for, because he's trying to find meaning to his life, and the way that he's making meaning to his life is by being a controversialist here. His ideology makes no sense. His worldview is incoherent. Just leave the guy, and like, I mean, I don't know what you can do with someone that broke. I really don't. Yeah. I'm not so sure, but fair enough. Everyone's got their own opinion. I think Ali Dawah's a bit of a clown myself. But the reality is Tan does not deserve. Anyone who debates Tan is lowering themselves. Yeah, Tan needs counselling. He doesn't need arguments. And all these people that are cheering him on, you're running down a dead end. This isn't how you oppose Islamization. You oppose Islamization by pointing out the fallacies and incoherent ideology that is Islam. You oppose Islamization by offering something better. You don't oppose Islamization by just being stupidly offensive. That is not opposing anything. All you're doing is charging down a dead end. And when Tan's run out of fury and fire, what you're left with? Nothing. Commit yourself to a better cause. That's the way you beat Islam.
Man like Soko, you know, come on. Come on, man like Soko.
I know. What, sorry? No one knows. We're emotional Rex TV for love, interaction. What's up? Is this, forgive me, I'm not using this pejoratively, but I'm just trying to use this as a logic to recognise you. Are you the one that they call rat boy? Sorry, bro. I wasn't using that pejoratively. I don't recognise it.
That's not rat boy, bro.
That's not rat boy. I don't know. Why he's not shameful? Why he's rat boy? Yeah, but he's been that from us. Hey, bro. So I am going to do a talk.
You can. What are you talking about?
Going to talk about a couple of different things actually, and then we'll take it from there. Today, if I can get through everything I want to get through, I want to do 2 talks, and then I want to have a debate about this Islamic Injil, this so-called Islamic Injil. We need to find someone who wants to talk about it.
Was that the one who revealed the message to Muhammad?
Message to who?
Muhammad.
Muhammad who?
Prophet Muhammad.
Prophet Muhammad. Well, I want to talk about the so-called Islamic Injil that is being spoken about. But before I get on to that, I want to talk about 2 other things. So very briefly, if I could maybe stand with my back at that fence just because it feels safer.
Ah, you're gonna take over my man's thing. I'll go on, uncle.
Move away from this.
You like him, innit? You like him? He's doing a good job.
He's a good brother.
So I want to give a talk about apologetics and polemics and why they're needed in the church. Currently within the church, there is almost an aversion to having dispute with the world, to having dispute with Islam, to having dispute with communism. And this is coming from an effeminized spirituality that has become the characterization of the Western church. And I want to ask whether that spirituality that says we can't have argument, we can't make argument against false ideologies and belief systems, such as communism, Islam and Nazism, is actually
I don't think this one goes in that context.
It's actually scriptural. The number of Christians that I have met and I'm not trying to disparage you. I'm just saying, why would you choose that over what you choose for using your mind, using science, using the method? And I'm not going out to be jealous at all. I'm saying there's other routes. I discovered
Alright, let's go back, let's pull back. Hey, old man, like, but use that AR. Ain't AR. Nah, they ain't AR. Pardon me, AR, do what you want.
We are taking every thought captive
Who you
to
suck on,
the
yeah?
obedience of Christ. The scriptures here, Peter is saying that we, the apostles, are destroying speculations. The kind of speculations that he was talking about were the kind of things that he talks about in his letter to Timothy, about people coming up with speculations about endless genealogies, or about those who speculated about the idea that the day of the Lord had already come and that the resurrection was not a physical resurrection. How do you think that they were destroying them except by disputation, except by making argumentation based upon an authority and a belief system, and constructing arguments from that belief system that opposes belief systems that set themselves up in opposition to the gospel? Clearly, this is what the apostles were doing. This is what we call polemics. Polemics are those things where you construct an argument exposing the fallacies of the alternative ideology. So to give an example of this, Christians believe that all human beings are born in sin, that our nature is corrupt, that it turns away from God and from what is good and turns towards that which is selfish and self-concerned. This is observable within our world. We see it all the time. Communism, by contrast, and Islam both believe that human nature is inherently neutral, that is simply written upon by society, and whatever society writes upon the character of the person will define how that person behaves. So a polemic in this instance would be to demonstrate the fallacy that human beings are not inherently sinful by pointing to the fact that no matter what ideology you have, what belief system you have, it is an undeniable observation of human behavior that we as humans are selfish and self-interested creatures. We see this in the smallest 2-year-old who demands that the world revolves around them. Now, when a 2-year-old does it, it's completely harmless. The social effects are minimal. It hurts no one. It's almost entertaining and often very is.
Is that 2-year-old born in sin though?
But that same mindset, when it appears in a 30-year-old, is the same mindset that will stab you in the back to advance their own career or destroy a marriage for their own self-fulfillment. That's an example of polemic. But the scriptures also teach that we must be able to use what is called apologetics. Now, an apologetic is a defense of your belief. So, for example, we Christians believe that Jesus Christ was crucified 2,000 years ago. And we can defend this belief by appealing to early historians, Roman historians who are not Christian and had no interest in the Christian faith, who testify to the fact that the crucifixion really occurred. And we can also appeal to the writings of the church fathers, who are independent witnesses to the Gospels of the fact of the crucifixion. And we can also appeal to New Testament literature, such as the writings of Luke, the writings of John, the writings of Paul.
What are you saying?
You need Jesus.
Uncle Jamal.
Jesus in your life.
Uncle Jamal, this is little Jamal. Big Jamal, little Jamal.
Little Jamal, yes. Baby Jamal.
Baby Jamal.
The evidence of history. And this kind of argumentation is justified in the scripture when the Apostle Peter said, "But sanctify Christ as Lord in your hearts, always being ready to make a defense." That word defense is the word apologia, from which we get the word apologetic, to everyone who asks you to give an account for the hope that is in you, yet with gentleness and reverence. And in 2 Corinthians, Paul writes,
I said he beat him. You see the video when he beat him? Uncle Jamal when he beat him. You seen it? Yeah, back in the day, bro. It's funny still.
of Christ. So the use of apologetic and polemic.
Let's get some Jamal. It's been a long time.
You are crying for from you liar. You are crying for pagan God. Not Jesus, you are crazy. Not Jesus, you are for pagan God, baby son. What do you want?
Uncle Jamal got vexed, you know. He wants to move to man.
Why can't you answer?
Obama.
Where is your evidence?
Obama. Obama from Daesh.
That Allah is God.
Obama from Daesh. And the Trump is telling you.
You don't know nothing. I'm asking you a question. Will you shut up and answer my question? Where is your evidence that Allah is God.
Okay, Quran.
Quran is not evidence. Quran is written by men who are failures. I tell you, sir, I want evidence. This is the Bible. The Bible.
You're rubbish. And this man rubbish. And this man rubbish.
Not touch. Not touch.
You liar.
Why should anybody know? It's part of being human, and it's up to you. Now, I don't know if you've ever read any of this, but it's something I'm reading quite a lot these days. Have you heard of Stoic philosophy? Stoics. Oh yeah, the Romans and the Greeks. They talk about many things, but mainly it's about you choosing how you interact with the world, how you respond to it, whether you choose to be offended by something or you choose to step back, separate your emotions from something, and basically be the higher man. That's the only, but it's the only intelligent way. I agree with you. I think so. You can say whatever you want to do.
What's up, brother? Full Preston, yes, man.
They have autism, and they want to give the message. That's what Jesus said.
He used to be a preacher. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord.
Take a quick circle of speakers corner, make sure man ain't missing nothing. Uncle Jamal Wyland, Bob the Builder, preaching, lecturing. Man like Joseph, talking to the vegans. The only honest argument against veganism is that you don't care. Respect vegan. I'm a vegan as well, still respect. Respect.
Why are they your species over the you're both living, breathing, so you both deserve the differences between animals and humans are arbitrary. So humans had the intelligence of a chicken. They still would have like
off the track, through the door, bang. It's not like that.
let's say a human possessed all the traits of a chicken. I think you have to deal with reality.
Leon's vegan. Why is that funny? Why is that funny?
And they live through it.
Some do, but most don't.
Say,
I love the animals, again.
was just grass. Imagine a human was just a chicken. It's not the argument. The argument you have humans.
You wouldn't eat
Where's
fish.
Raspacat? I don't
You
even know
would
it.
save a human's life over a chicken's
Supposed to
life.
come down, so hope you come
And
down.
you're saying that's because you're the same
Caviar.
species. That seems a really pathetic argument.
Honestly, I don't have any logical reason for choosing.
I think you do have a logic. A child feels pain.
I said I fully love chicken in the white, drum black, drum black.
A child, a child feels emotional pain. Completely different level to an animal. Not just an instinctual level, but a comprehensible, a rational level. They can rationalise, they can think critically.
Why do some vegans eat GMO? Some people turn vegan not for their health reasons, just because they don't like fucking up the animals, innit?
Is there arguments that are constructing hypothetical strawman? Sorry, say what you're saying. So imagine a human
Jews are black.
in a vegetative state or has a disability. So again, it comes back to the Jewish family and those around it. Also African, and also then what it's the same reason why I think the meat industry is an issue. If you dehumanize humans, animals and that's a problem. So you can just slaughter them wherever they are. That turns us into a form of primitive barbarism, not too distinct from the animal world. By the same extension, if we're just to start ending the lives of those that have greater disabilities to the human than us, it opens Pandora's box to an incredibly...
And that's why I say...
So that's the only reason you would save a human over... And what I'm trying to understand is why would you save a 13-year-old child? I think that they're the same species as me, as we present. I just say, what if there's a white man... For me, I don't know your background, but what if there's a white... I'm Jewish. What if there's a white Jewish person falling off a cliff, and then there's a darker Muslim.
But we do empathise with people of our own race more.
But you wouldn't. So you're saying if there was someone of your race, you would save the person from the race and falling from the cliff?
No, I just want to explain. The logical.
Okay, but with the animal, it's not about species. It's not about they're the same species. I mean, there's something more. There's something deeper there that you would save.
It's a continent's being burgers.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get you to
I'm not
admit.
sure. I haven't made my bed on this.
So you would seriously contemplate saving a chicken over a 13-year-old child? No. Exactly. Why? That's what I want to get. I don't know. No, but you do know. You're just not going to admit it because you've got this saying.
No, it's got nothing to do with this.
You're trying to save both.
Ain't seen them.
Okay, fine, but he can't. That's the whole thing.
Oh, then let them both die, innit?
Let them. You can save a chicken or a human, and you would let them
Yeah,
both
but
die.
that's just a made up. There's a scene where it's not gonna happen, innit?
Look, in any case,
You're just okay. Thank you, sir. Let's get back.
It doesn't debunk this argument because, like, you don't have to see humans and animals as equal.
Okay,
to recognise that treating animals as objects. Exactly, we don't have to.
I say Joseph complained, and sorry, I was just reading a comment. Someone said that you complained about Tan being for Britain first, and he got kicked out. Is that true?
I'll come back to that, but I was shared a video by Muhammad Hijab. I shared it with my audience. It was a very offensive video. If Tam wants to come and have a chat today, I would love to. He can set the record straight. I've got a camera. Sorry, said when I do. So it's really basically, a guy came along and started abusing Jews. I'm Jewish, and I shared the videos. Oh, you're also Jewish. Shana Tova, it's our festival.
Shalom, shalom.
You know, there are loads of Jews in the
Yeah, Israel's the biggest vegan place in the world. My wife is vegan. I'm married to one. Right. We have laws in Judaism which we have to treat animals compassionately. My issue is basically stripping it down to the basics of why using animals is unjust.
It's unnecessary, isn't it? As well.
The unjust, which I think you could say it's unnecessary. We can survive without meat. It's a legitimate argument. It's the just part which is important, and it's the intrinsic.
I'll break it down for you. Animals matter morally because they value their own lives. Their value is intrinsic. It comes from within.
They don't. We've already established this. Animals don't value their own life. They have a self-survival.
Yeah. So if someone values their own life, the least they deserve is to not be treated as an object. Because objects don't have value.
See man seems he's tearing up some nuggets.
Thank you. So do animals. Animals only have the value that you give to them. You place value in animals, which is why you abstain from eating meat.
That's a Buddhist term.
But you place that value in the animal. The animal is incapable of placing that value on itself, and that's why it doesn't value other animals. An animal will, a cat, have you ever seen a cat play with a mouse? It's horrible. I used to have one, and I'd literally run and save the mouse because I got human empathy. I'm like, no, come here, mouse. But a cat doesn't. A cat doesn't place value in life. An orca, killer whale, will flip a seal up in the air and just play with it like it's a ball of string.
Loads of things that happen in nature are cruel.
But because they don't place value.
You know, people slit someone's throat, chop their legs off free, keep them alive.
Yeah,
Is that not the same thing?
No, it's
because there's some animals. There's a lion. There's a lion that loves a dog.
You're missing
So your argument is actually no, because it happens in both human race and animal.
Okay, so you believe that animals intellectually attribute value to other species, other animals.
Okay. You wanna go deep into that because what animals do actually provide food for other animals, and they actually help each other. They actually coexist with each other. They actually have respect. They will not kill you.
Animals are
So I just want to get the argument. I just want to get but the three of you.
Why people are racist? Facts.
Believe
Man like academic speeches.
Animals.
Characters
I'm
over
not talking edge cases. Not edge cases. Have some inner morality where they want to save the lives of other animals from different species.
That happens.
It may happen. You're missing the point.
Okay, but I can say that there's humans that chop people's heads off non-stop.
You're missing the point.
There's thousands of humans that kill people.
If you believe you have intellectual parity with an animal, that's fine. Mazel tov.
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
I believe I am intellectually superior to a monkey.
So
you may not.
Okay,
you may think that a monkey is
elephants,
I'm choosing an
they're smart animals.
Okay, maybe compared to your family. Family isn't.
Okay. But what do you mean by smart? What is smart?
I mean,
what is your definition of smart?
Isn't
That's what I'm
intelligence
saying.
an arbitrary trait anyway? Like, we don't say that someone who has a Nobel Peace Prize
Yes, it's because you have a Nobel Peace
more
Prize
than
for
someone
smart.
who,
That doesn't make sense.
Okay,
Because what you say as
let's take that. Parasites. Yeah? Let's say your child has pretty, sorry for the cover, worms. They're pretty gross parasites.
in our stomach.
It's fine. Would you give your child medicine to kill off those bugs. So
Parasites don't have moral value.
why does a parasite not have a moral value?
They actually do.
They do have a moral value to this man.
Well, you got
see
because
these-
you understand that our stomach is like an Amazon forest. There's bacteria, good and bad. We have to feed the good bacteria. They are bacteria is basically parasite. You have parasite. You have good and bad ones. You need to feed.
Parasite something that is
It's one that
harms you.
harms you. Yeah, but it's still life. Everything is life. Everything coexists. Even animals have. You can treat animals the same, but then there's still kids getting their heads
The thing
chopped
is,
off.
though, if you like with the whole argument that parasites have moral value, if an animal's a threat to me, I think it's perfectly reasonable to kill it. In the same sense, if a human is a threat to me, perfectly reasonable to kill a human in survival situations.
There's a little difference between a parasite which is irritating and someone who's coming to kill you. One is an actual threat to your existence, the other is a discomfort.
Right.
So there's a
But they're probably not sentient.
I'm gonna come back still and see Bob the Builder and Omar, aka Rap Boy. Sorry for me. Let me get them and see what they talking about. I think. Come on.
About what the testimony of the Quran is
We
about.
go on them man's side.
About whether you know what that testimony is.
What are you talking about?
So, like, I was wondering if you'd be willing to go through some verses with me in the Quran together to discuss something in a non-argumentative way. Just to learn. So, if we turn to start off.
We're saying peaceful and respectful discussion is going to be.
I would like it to be, if it is. I'm sorry if that doesn't titillate the senses, but I would like it to be. I'd like all my discussions to be.
Trying to tax the gang, right? Make sure you get.
And I don't think you're part of the Dawah team. I'm not expecting that kind of behaviour. So, in the
Where is he? Is he sitting as a scout?
Sorry?
Can send you in as a scout.
And I'm worried.
obviously you accept what the Quran talks about when it talks about the Injil. What do you know about the Injil, the thing that the Quran is talking about? Fair enough. Okay, so we'll do it together then. We'll come to our own conclusions. And when there came to them a messenger from Allah confirming what was with them, a party of the people of the book threw away the book of Allah behind their backs as if it had been something they did not know. Now, what does this verse communicate to you? What do you understand from this verse?
And like, I know, fam.
So I'm gonna make a number of statements, and you tell me whether you think I'm being fair or unfair to the text of the Quran. So the Quran is saying, and when there came to them a messenger from Allah, so that I think that's a reference to Muhammad. So it's saying that when Muhammad came, to this group, confirming what was with them, a party of the people of the book threw away the book of Allah behind them. So I understand this verse to say that Muhammad came to a party, a group of either Jews or Christians, and the text doesn't identify which, but it's most likely
like
Jews. And he was
Imran,
confirming what they already
Imran
possessed, confirming what was with them. A party of the people of the book, being Jews, threw away the book of Allah behind their backs as if it had been something they did not know. So they threw the Quran away because they were acting like they didn't know this book. But this book confirmed the book.
I'm gonna come back
they
if they start fighting still.
Now, do you think that that is fair or unfair to the text?
If I see Wyland out over, I'll come back.
In your opinion, unfair. Why do you think I'm being unfair to the text?
So you're Bob the Builder.
I am Bob the Builder. Yeah. So my question to you is, if he's confirming what was with them, then that means that they possess something that is being confirmed by Muhammad. So, for instance, if you had a letter of approval from the Queen for something, and you didn't believe it, and then a civil servant came to you with another letter confirming the letter that you had. Subjective.
That's when Tan's getting it. That's when Tan's supposed to come there, you get me? Yeah.
These men sort this problem out.
You know what they're talking about.
Don't worry about it. Us men are going to sort this over. Don't worry about it. God bless the people. Yeah, no, absolutely. The thing is, what I'm saying is that yes, they're treating equally on the plot, they're not treating equally socially. I know this because I'm not that old. And when I was younger, when we were pushed towards the direction, I don't see any reason why I should open a door for a lady as opposed to open one for you should open the door for you.
Yes, of course.
Are you a lady? Well, there you go then. There you go. You're
Despite the nice hair.
There you go. Why should it be gendered? Why should it be gendered? Why should it be gendered?
Oh, there he goes again with the dyed hair.
You know why? Because fundamentally,
I'm not allowed to speak. It's far right.
So what?
Hey, stay quiet, man. You're not on your podium.
Women have short arms. They can't open the door as well. So what's that got to do with courtship?
Yeah, the quality shit still. It's the shit stream, man. Have to get a better network. Huh? Who, this guy? What's he talking about?
Ask him.
Making him grow up, yeah?
Let me listen.
Spend all that money.
You say Rajiv.
You right?
Right, uncle.
Mate, you should have recorded me there.
Yeah.
My mom see my video on there and said, what are you doing in Mad Corner?
Mad corner. What's he talking about? What's he talking about?
She's fairly accurate, to be fair.
Oh, go on, you good? Spice. Yeah. Ah, cool, man.
I would like to question your beliefs in something.
Yeah. You want to talk about Tanting?
Yeah, just because in particular he's quite...
Amidali was asking him about it still.
Who?
Amidali.
Oh.
Yeah. He was talking to Steve. Oh, go on. Good, yeah? It was... Amidali asked him if what Tan said was racist, and he said, and Steve said no. So he asked him to repeat it, and he didn't repeat it.
Oh, yeah. Hello. We had never actually properly spoke yet. I know you've been coming speakers for a while.
Rajiv.
Rajiv? Yes. How are you?
Not too bad.
How you doing? Sorry.
Hello. Okay, so you're...
Yeah, you...
I didn't put an email, but I think there's an email sorry to bend you.
No, that's not
You can introduce yourself to the thing, but just generally, I guess I understand the notion behind speaking but I also understand from reading up that there are certain limitations to what speaking.
What have you read and what are your limitations that you...
The limitations are kind of under, not even kind of under, they are under the harmful and these are covered under the Article 19 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights.
Yeah.
And the limitations are that you have to present your speech, right, in a way that very easily kind of avoids effect.
Yes.
So I have to question. There was a speech as of last week, and I'm pretty sure that wasn't the only speech. I'm pretty sure there's a lot more that does go on. But I would say that speech in particular has raised a lot more kind of publicity and has raised a lot more of awareness and an awareness level. We are getting individuals who are coming down, and I wouldn't say inciting violence because I can't provide you any evidence as so, but they are creating an atmosphere that will supposedly incite violence. Now, my question is,
And like more deep.
something that the police actually support.
No,
I don't put you on the spot. I don't want to put you on the spot. So please feel free.
we support...
In the sense that I understand that if someone did come to this park and was basically saying rallying support for ISIS under the guise of freedom of speech,
I said we are speaking with pigs.
would he then be banned from the
Listening.
Right, okay, that's the thing, let's look at this right.
That's done I work with police.
This time in Speaker's Corner now, in 2018, in actual fact, it's probably at the lowest time of any kind of crime and offences here. If you go back to the 1980s, you had every Sunday 12 police officers, one sergeant, one inspector, and you used to have running battles, it used to be full on spiritual riots in the 80s and the 90s. So there used to be a lot of violence between those groups, political and religious. Okay? We know we're living in a time in the world where there's so many contentious things going on, all the way, and everybody's upset with everything. But we have to speak this corner, we have to sort of look at it, we literally almost like self-policing. We have to keep Speaker's Corner what the traditions are. Now, being policing it, as you can imagine, is an extremely difficult job.
That's why I wouldn't hold you accountable.
Right, because we can't win either way. Because, for example, if somebody somebody like Tan, I don't want to use Tan as an example, who pushes the very boundaries of what is freedom of speech to their very, very limits. And again, what is that limit? Where is that line? Okay, so we have to look at it and judge it. And when I place it, I don't want to speak to my colleagues, but I've been doing this for 5 years now, so I can pretty much say I'm pretty much an expert in how speakers can work. The way I gauge something is I'll watch the crowd and how they react. Now, if I see someone's saying something and I see that crowd is really starting to get animate, and I believe this to be a public situation, and that speaker's likely to get himself lynched and beaten up, I'll move in and I'll address the problem there, whether they tell the speaker to tone it down. If he has said something which is clearly hate speech, then we've got to be looking down at arms and taking disciplinary arrest or being banned from the But the caveat to it is we are now seen to act against someone's freedom of speech. We're then to be criticised, this is now a mistake, you're taking away my freedom of speech. So we have to be very careful when we actually interact and do something. Because everybody comes here, they want to get on that soapbox, like they've done for the last 50 years.
Thank you for calling us soapbox.
Because you're always going to get because that's the whole point of it. There's been test cases people I call it. I can't remember what the test case was, but it was around equal to speakers for and basically the judge says, you're going to something, if you hear something, see something you don't like knowing that's an environment you're going to go to, don't be there.
I understand.
Man of the water and of the spirit. You must be one of them.
Man like Mac in the building.
But he...
Alright. Rajiv.
Freedom of speech a little while ago, and Ali Dawah found himself basically trying to...
Talk about free speech and tan. What? Free speech and tan.
If I'm looking for a boy, you know? That's just something like that. You ain't gonna draw us out in that nigga shit.
I was just gonna come around first
up on my Japanese, Chinese. You give me theology and that. My man's eating dead baby feet as soup. You get me?
What are you saying? Some Deadpool levels.
Deadpool soup. Why you not doing that?
This was the scenario that he was heading into, and I put it to Bob that, that's not the society we should be living.
Everyone's getting it today, boy. Callum.
Oh, shit.
You know what I mean? The sniper's gaze is...
facilitate ourselves around the situation, but the problem becomes
Poor man's boy's getting it.
Why should people feel like they can't say certain things because of the threat design? And that is a really big problem, and especially it's a problem that not just on one side comes in, it's from both sides because there's an attack on both sides. So in particular, I think last week, I'm not going to blow it up too much, but there was a spray beat over there, and I think that was a very clear kind of insight. Someone is going to get hurt. I really don't think they'll follow through with it personally, but it's a question of how far do certain indications have to go before, I guess, the authorities can get it. Again, do not feel pressure to answer.
No, I'm just...
With the lack of funding and the cuts, I'm not at odds to make any kind of demands from you.
The day when it won't happen, in my opinion, especially while I'm here, the day that Speaker's Corner becomes no more, I don't think it'll ever happen. It won't, because just think of the global consequences of it. The Speaker's Corner is almost like, it is a jewel of the sector of what freedom of speech is about. Okay, and if we get to the point like, okay, now this is going on with freedom of speech, everybody has lost. What are you going to gain from it? Because then what's going to happen, you're going to get snowballed out and other factory speakers are going to arrive and you have public order situations. So that won't happen. I can always smoke a phone, and I've said this many a time, everybody that comes here is responsible.
Two Modines over there with cigars yet.
They say and do, And you have to take responsibility to almost self-policing yourself. You know, we are almost, again, that's another analogy. School playground sometimes, we often you know, behave yourself, you've got attention. That's sometimes a kind of thing. Okay, and then we just set it about, yes, it's getting more violent. Again, they're not, and that's what's putting over in it. Because I deal with the crime that's coming through. And majority of the stuff is something that somebody has seen online in another country. Oh, that's hate speech. Or, you know,
I was watching this when I was
again, most of the time, people who don't understand regularly. So, it's a bit of a reassurance. Yes, there are always going to be concerns, but there's always been concerns for us. How many decades? So, you know, let's just crack on, do what we do, have some tolerance. Well, you know, I mean, that, again, that's it. Again, we've got the society now, you know, everybody lives in the... We've got this 18-inch world, and everything we see in front of us now, this is the whole world between us. We, you know, society's forgotten. Sorry? Looking for something. No, but we live in a media world where, you know, everything we see now, this has got to be true. You know, we've forgotten how to actually look at right.
Let me see what I'm going. Let me see what I've got. More Dean's in the building now. Come on, fam. Lighting.
To bring me forward a
Drinks over everything.
shred of evidence that there was ever in history.
Listen, you got the cigars out yet? Cubans.
That's
the check mode.
Notice, ladies and gentlemen, he brought nothing forward at all. Let me finish, bro. You had your chance to answer the question. No, let me finish. I will ask you the question again. Calm down. Ladies and gentlemen, I contend to all of you that if you take the time to investigate the claims of the Quran about what happened in the first century, you will find that the Quran is making completely unsubstantiated claims that have no verification in history at all. None, zero, zip, zilt, nada, nothing at all. The Quran claims that Jesus brought a book called an Injil, and we have no evidence at all that it ever existed. By contrast, the documents that I have in my hand that are called the New Testament are testified to by archaeological discovery, fragments, manuscripts from the 2nd to the 3rd and beyond centuries, the oldest of which is dated from 90 AD to 140 AD. It's a fragment of the Gospel of John, and you can see it with your own eyes in the museum in Manchester, which I think is called the Betty Ryland Museum. I might have got that name wrong. Christians can also appeal to early writers from the 2nd century, such as Ignatius. It might also be Irenaeus, because I always get those two confused, and Papias, who were writers writing before the year 150, and they quote the New Testament that I have in my hand.
Let me check my camera.
Not to believe in any other God.
People tell me about this. You hear them spin on stuff, and then he gets more powerful, right? He gets followers, he gets converts, he starts wondering, he gets tired, he becomes incredibly successful. Successful. Murdered a lot of people. All of this to this moment, right? Now, you imagine that.
Yeah, everyone got a film proof.
But now, why are you on a gay website? You help me? Probably not.
talking about?
I didn't see you. This chap just accused Bilal of being on a gay website and asking him why you dress like a girl, and Bilal's got infuriated.
I walked off here. What one Imran?
No, man, no.
He's going to crash Raj today. Yeah, see you in the comments. See you in the comments, guys.
Is your boy coming to your sidekick? Your sidekick coming to your sidekick.
My sidekick?
That's beyond atheism.
Oh, you're
stay away from a woman. No. Sherry. He's with his cousin, isn't it? What banging his cousin?
Did you just say Raj is banging his cousin?
Yeah.
So why would
There we go.
Why would he say that? He's not Muslim. Why would he be doing that?
What's Muslim got to do with it?
I know they attention marriage.
Coming by the camera, right now. Why are you behind the camera?
This is my camera. They obviously know it's me. I want to know why you saying that Raj is banging his cousin. What kind of shit is that to say?
Oh,
Do you bang your fucking cousin? Do you bang your cousin?
Touch that again, fam. Oh, shit, touched it. You touched it, you're properly. I know, it's
Why would you accuse another man of doing that? Why would you accuse another man of doing that? What kind of disgusting fucking behaviour is that?
Oh, shit, I've never seen Manny like this. Manny's about to kill everyone.
That's fucking disgusting. Get away from me, you nasty piece of shit.
Oh, shit.
How fucking dare you?
Watch, when I see you, I'm gonna fuck you up. Watch.
Oh, you're gonna see me fucking...
I don't make no threats on the camera, fam. You're crazy.
You're brilliant live on fucking YouTube, mate. Yeah? Right, you accused Raj of sleeping with his cousin. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. Get away from me. Get away from me. Disgusting behaviour. Do you promote grooming gangs as well? No. What else do you do?
Why do I do that?
Why are you standing here? You can't stay here anymore. Can you understand what disgusting, vile person you are? What kind of shit is that to say about
It's popping off, man.
Why?
He accused Raj of sleeping with his cousins.
Get away from me.
This is why you say such a disgusting thing.
Why are you sucking his cock?
Look at you. Everything's sexual, isn't it?
Look at yourself.
What, you a PR machine for the grooming gangs? Go away. Go, get out. Get away.
Hey, no touching. Hey, no touching.
You're accusing somebody.
Verbal intercourse.
You're accusing somebody.
Hey, Imran, verbal intercourse. Keep it verbal. Keep it verbal, fam. Keep it verbal.
What are you doing then?
Don't make him amp you out, fam. It's just words, blood. This is words, blood.
You know about all these people, yeah? That's about grooming gangs. You're a dick, but you're a fucking dick.
Then tell the camera. Why are you accusing somebody for sleeping with their cousin? Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Verbal intercourse, fam. Come on.
What kind of accusation is that? What kind of accusation is that? You like it?
Triggered.com.
You like it?
That's why you shouldn't get triggered, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be scared of words.
He does it every single day. Every day he does it. You're a dick, Mark. In front of you, done it. You fucking stupid or what?
So you can prove Raj has accused you.
He done it every day in channel.
Okay, who's on Raj's channel to confirm
On your channel, you fucking stupid. On your fucking channel, you fucking idiot. You dumb On your fucking channel, he knows, yeah? That's fucking my cousin, bro. You don't expect me.
Listen, if Raj has done that, I'll reprimand him.
And yourself, bro. Talk about yourself, too, you fucking idiot. You're the hypocrite.
You just came on camera accused Raj of sleeping with his cousin. That's disgusting.
You accuse me, yeah?
That is disgusting.
You accuse me of supporting human gangs. You're a piece of shit.
I'm asking you, do you? I'm asking you, do you?
Of course I don't.
Then why would you say something like Raj is sleeping with his cousin? Why would you say that? Because it's a sick mentality that I presume would be attached to grooming gang. So I attacked you. If you can make a joke about a grown man sleeping with a child with his cousin, would you also support grooming gang? Who's going to think that's not logic? That's logic, right? Wouldn't any man think if you're saying a man is sleeping with their cousin, sister would most likely support a grooming gang? That's logic. So I put it to him, what does he do? How the fuck is that logical? He came violent.
How the fuck? You're saying every single person, yeah? You
Why
might
is
be
it? I'm asking you, mate. You came to me and you said Raj is sleeping, or you said banging his cousin.
Yeah, I said it. So what? I was joking. So what?
Well, now you look like an idiot, and you proved my point.
You disproved that being a liar.
Never come to a public place.
He said, "Call me back on a hype
And you accused me. Shut up. Hold on, man. Speak now. You accused me, yeah? Of supporting grooming gangs. I apologize.
I asked you. I didn't say I asked you.
Bro, you accused me. It's on camera. Don't try that shit. You accused me. You accused me. You know what? You see a person of Muslim background.
I don't know you're Muslim.
And you think that you're gonna put grooming gangs on me? You're a piece of shit.
I don't know you're Muslim.
You're a Sikh.
How do I know you're Muslim?
How do I know you're Muslim? You always think you're better than everyone. You're in your new Sikh college. You think,
so you're now you're ridiculing my confidence.
I'm not even a Muslim.
I've done a lot in my life. I'm allowed to be confident.
You attacked for grooming. For what reason? But I'm not even
Because
Muslim.
you came, accused the grown man for sleeping with his cousin. To me, that's sick.
And you think he's a groomer.
Why would you come to me and ask about my
He was about to murder everybody.
Now you're backtracking. Everyone's seen it. Everyone's seen it.
Ah shit, Ramadan is in the building.
End it, bro. Everyone's seen you.
Never say that about another man and his cousin.
What?
Never say
Raj
that.
banging his cousin. Yeah, I say it. So what? Raj banging his cousin. I say it all the time. He said it to me. What the fuck are you talking about?
Then why is it to me?
He said it to me.
Why is it to me?
To him.
I'm gonna grab it. If he said that, I'm gonna grab it.
Yeah,
you come and find me when he comes.
On your channel, you said that you fucking dumb piece of shit. You fucking stupid. You know what, man? Fucking every day he says it. You're so fucking stupid, man. Fucking dumb.
He said you're sleeping with your cousin. He didn't.
Oh, you're crazy. He said you're crazy.
Raj says that this guy.
Raj is saying Pakistani Muslims.
Yeah, not this guy.
He said it to me, bro. He said it to me on the fucking channel.
No, not this guy. One minute. Let me. He's backing you up here.
Do you condemn Raj saying, speaking to the people of this brother, that they need to stop sleeping with their family members?
Yeah, he's generalizing.
Can he say it?
He shouldn't. He's not saying that.
Do you condemn it?
You will never condemn Raj, man. It's like his cock. It's like his cock.
Mad thing happening in the park today, bro.
Raj or not?
Man, you just started wilding,
Me and
fam.
Raj, yeah, we get along, yeah.
This is really peaceful and calm.
I get along with Raj. I don't know why this guy, you know what this guy, yeah? You don't want me and Raj to get along. You don't want me, yeah? Well, you know Raj, he said to me so many times. He said to me though. He said to me many times.
There's no movement in that. Yeah. Have some respect. It's not because you're Asian or you're this. If it was Leon saying it, if it was this, white gentleman, it'd be the same.
But you know Raj,
I don't play those games.
But you know Raj on the channel.
I would never say that to Manny now, fam. Manny will fuck man up for saying that. Manny will fuck a nigga up, fam.
One second.
You need to be quiet, let him
Pardon me, everyone.
On Raj, on his channel, yeah, he can speak, yeah, and I'm in the comments, yeah. He can say whatever he wants, and then he goes to me, oh, you bang your cousin, yeah. So I was like, whatever, yeah, but then now, he said to me,
He was speaking
I was in the comments, yeah, and he was talking, innit? You know, Raj was
let him. Generally or specifically?
If he's referring to
Pardon.
that actually marries them, then I don't condone that in that community. However, if he's saying it,
You say Manny channel got a better quality.
racially.
Manny channel got a better view. They don't hate on COE, bro.
Raj too much, bro. You can't. It's like Raj too much, bro. It's like I can't go with Raj. I don't mind it. Manny's sucking him too much.
If my beliefs allow me to marry my cousin, if this is my belief, allow me to do so. My sister,
Calm down, guys. Calm down. Someone else is wilding. Let me go film someone else wilding. Zachariah's wilding now.
Do you want to
Yo, the sun's out today, baby. The sun is out today, fam. Wilding in the park.
I say to him, Mohammed married a 6-year-old child. And when he was 50 years old, he made intercourse sex with Aisha. He said he insulted me. But if I'm insulting you, your hadith is insulting you. Because that's in your hadith. If you want that, I'm going to give you I'm going to give you the reference. I'm going to give you the reference. One moment.
I'll give you answer.
I'm going to reference. I'm going to give you reference. I'm going to give you reference.
Don't touch.
It's all right, bro. Don't even say it.
Not a Muslim. He was never a Muslim. Don't say people you're a Muslim.
Sunnah Abu
This man said he was a Muslim. To start saying he's not Muslim.
Sunnah Abu Dhabi. 21, 21.
Like the Prophet Muhammad married Aisha.
Sahih Muslim. 14, 22.
Because in the time of the Arabs,
Sahih al-Bukhari, 6131.
Abu Bakr Siddiq anhum. And then he wanted
Sahih al-Bukhari, 3894.
This nikah was already given by
Sahih Muslim, 1422. Is that enough? Please go search.
You ready, yeah? The Prophet Muhammad SAW, the marriage was already given by Allah already. It was already given by Abu Bakr Siddiq already. Who was the father of Aisha anha? Who was the father of Aisha anha? Ask me, who was the father of Aisha anha? Can you answer? No, I can be wrong. You're a liar, ex-Muslim. So let's see what you know. Let's see what you know about this. Liar,
Kadab. This is a big liar.
Yeah, no, we're finished with the film.
Finished?
Yeah.
Done, yeah? Alright. Cool. Respect.
Endorsing your channel.
Alright, respect.
Equipment and go?
Yeah. I'm good round the park. I'm good. It might happen. It's a risk I take. Hopefully it don't. Cool, bro.
It's alright.
Did you read that book?
Yeah.
What's it like?
It's about.
I know what it's about.
Oh, right. I'm only on like page 40.
Okay.
I've just started. So
how you finding it though?
Really good, man. Yeah. Just keep trying to give a basis to explain these things. People ask me, what is morality? It starts to give me an answer, you know?
Okay.
Someone's answer.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I haven't read the book, but like when he came down like probably about a month before you first saw him. And it was explaining basically that a lot of their religious stories, obviously they're not to be taken literally, but they're beneficial for people because it gives them hope.
Guidelines,
yeah. Structure in their life and things like this, so there's benefit to it.
That's right.
Even though it's not, like, even though you wouldn't say it's 100% true what they're talking about. This is just true in a different sense. I can't remember what he said.
Like metaphysical truth or something like that. I know what you mean. Yeah, so that's it. I think it's really interesting, man. So that was a good discussion. It was really fucking long, though.
Yeah.
We're gonna try and find some more shit.
What's your name, brother? A second. Babs. Okay.
Yeah, that's me, man.
Cool, man. I'm gonna look around as well.
Next year. For my 16th
Look at that. My camera's there still. I'm just looking around now. Wait, where's that?
I only am never with my tribe.
Huh? Yeah. I know. I see. I stopped it already.
Yeah, bro.
He's in.
Is that the same machine? Is it 1600 megahertz?
Yeah.
Okay. Should work there.
Yeah, that's the one, man.
8 volts.
I can't remember. It's the same one, though, man. That's the same one. Huh? Nice. Man, like Callum. Oh, man. We said our corner today, yeah?
Hey, yo, what you say, man? I've been looking for you, G.
Yeah, I'm here, man.
What's the family saying?
I was just catching the dramas, you get me?
Yeah?
Just catching the dramas still, but right now, like it died down still, so I'm gonna catch a responsible conversation.
I heard that Mackie wants to have a little beef later on with me.
Yeah. With you? Yeah. You see him on the live stream?
Huh? No, I didn't see on the live stream, but he said though.
Yeah, Maku's there, still. He's over there.
We're gonna get in a little bit later on with Maku.
He's here later, too.
Get in with Rajiv as well.
Rajiv was on you as well?
Who else is here?
Rajiv's over there. Mad thing. I'll look above the build and Modine. Let me get the hype thing.
When I asked him for evidence,
come on,
I'll ask you, did you actually hear any evidence? Did you hear any evidence?
Shut your mouth now.
Did you hear any evidence? I heard no evidence. Nothing.
Ask him again. Catch your own sucker. Move my camera. I'm gonna lock off still. I'm gonna jump back in when I find something. I need to set up my main camera. Can't be neglecting the main camera. Soon come. Respect everyone.